Warning: some viewers may find the following video disturbing or unsettling. Viewer discretion advised.
I always found solace in nature, and the woods were my sanctuary, a place where I could escape the hustle and bustle of the city and find peace within the embrace of towering trees. But that all changed on a fateful summer day when I ventured deeper into the woods than I had ever dared before. It was a warm evening, and the sun was beginning to set, casting an orange hue across the sky. I set off on my usual trail, but as I wandered further into the woods, an uneasy feeling gnawed at the edges of my mind. The familiar rustling of leaves and chirping of birds seemed to fade away, replaced by an eerie silence that sent shivers down my spine. Trying to shake off my unease, I continued deeper into the heart of the woods. The trees seemed to close in around me, their branches forming an impenetrable canopy that blocked out the fading light. I felt a sudden sense of being watched, as if unseen eyes were peering at me from the shadows. I quickened my pace, eager to get out of the suffocating darkness. But no matter how fast I walked, the feeling of being stalked persisted. Each step I took seemed to echo through the silent woods, and I could feel a presence following closely behind me. I tried to convince myself that it was just my imagination, that the solitude of the woods was playing tricks on my mind. But as the moon rose, bathing the forest in an eerie glow, I could no longer deny the truth. I was not alone in those woods. Panic welled up inside me, and I stumbled over roots and rocks in my haste to escape. But the more I ran, the more the presence seemed to draw nearer, its malevolence palpable in the air. I could hear the faintest whisper of footsteps behind me, mirroring my own. Finally, I burst into a small clearing, gasping for breath. The moonlight spilled over the ground, revealing the gnarled roots of ancient trees and casting eerie shadows on the forest floor. I frantically looked around, trying to catch a glimpse of my pursuer, but there was nothing, just the haunting silence of the woods. I decided to wait for a moment, hoping that whatever was following me would lose interest and disappear. But the silence only seemed to grow more oppressive, and the feeling of being watched never left me. I could feel unseen eyes boring into me from all directions. Unable to bear the suspense any longer, I resolved to continue my escape. I stumbled through the woods, my heart pounding in my chest, until I came across an old abandoned cabin. Desperation overcame caution, and I sought refuge inside, praying that the walls would shield me from whatever malevolent force was haunting me. As I cowered inside the cabin, the sense of being watched only intensified. Every creak and groan of the old buildings seemed to mock my fear. I could feel an unseen presence pressing in on me, suffocating me with its darkness. Time seemed to stretch on forever as I waited, trapped in that forsaken cabin. I lost all track of reality, my mind consumed by terror and paranoia. I knew that I had to escape, that staying there would be my doom, but fear rooted me to the spot. Then, just as the moon began its descent, I heard it, a low, guttural growl that sent a chill down my spine. It was not the sound of any ordinary creature. It was something malevolent, something not of this world. Summoning all my courage, I burst out of the cabin and ran as if my life depended on it. Branches scratched at my skin, and roots threatened to trip me, but I did not stop. I could still feel the presence behind me, and the growls grew louder, closer. Finally, I burst out of the woods, stumbling onto a familiar path that led back to civilization. I dared not look back, but I could feel the presence receding with each step. From that day on, I never returned to those woods. The memory of that night haunts me, a constant reminder that there are forces in this world beyond our understanding. I can still feel the malevolent eyes watching me, even in the safety of my own home. And I know that whatever stalked me in the woods is still out there, waiting, lurking in the darkness, biding its time. I never believed in the supernatural, dismissing tales of demons and possession as mere superstitions. That was until the day I moved into the old, dilapidated house on Willow Street. The moment I stepped inside, an overwhelming sense of unease washed over me, as if an invisible force had wrapped its icy fingers around my soul. As weeks passed, strange occurrences began to unfold. Objects moved on their own, and eerie whispers echoed through the walls. But the most unsettling was the feeling of being watched, a presence lurking just beyond the veil of reality. I tried to ignore it, convincing myself that my mind was playing tricks on me. But as the days turned to nights, the presence grew stronger, and I could feel something malevolent coiling around me like a serpent waiting to strike. One night, as I lay in bed, I saw a shadowy figure standing in the corner of my room. Its eyes glowed with an otherworldly light, and an unholy chill swept through the air. I wanted to scream, to run, but I was paralyzed by fear. The figure approached me, its twisted grin sending shivers down my spine. "You are mine," it hissed, its voice a sinister symphony of darkness. From that moment on, my life became a nightmare. The demon's presence never left me, haunting my every waking moment. It whispered vile thoughts into my mind, filling me with malevolence and rage. I tried to resist, but it was as if the demon had taken root inside me, twisting my thoughts and emotions. I felt myself slipping away, losing control of my own body. The demon would take over, and I would watch helplessly as it committed unspeakable acts. I became a prisoner in my own mind, screaming for release, but no one could hear me. The people around me noticed the change. They saw the darkness in my eyes, the sinister smirk that crept across my face when the demon was in control. I became an outcast, shunned by friends and family who feared the malevolent force that now inhabited my body. As the demon's influence grew stronger, I sought help from every corner of the world: priests, shamans, exorcists. But none could break the demon's hold on me. It reveled in their futile attempts, taunting them with its unearthly laughter. In moments of brief respite, I tried to research my affliction, desperate for a clue that could lead to my salvation. It was then that I stumbled upon an ancient tome hidden away in the depths of the library. The pages were filled with incantations and rituals, the language archaic and cryptic. Armed with the knowledge from the book, I embarked on a perilous journey to reclaim my body and soul. I performed the ritual in the darkest hour of the night, surrounded by candles and symbols of protection. As I recited the incantation, I felt a fierce resistance from the demon. It fought back with all its might, threatening to consume me entirely, but I clung to the last shred of my humanity, refusing to surrender to the darkness. In a final surge of willpower, I channeled all my energy into the ritual, and a blinding light engulfed the room. The demon howled in agony, its grip on me weakening with every passing second. At last, the darkness receded, and I felt the weight of the demon lift from my soul. I collapsed to the ground, gasping for breath, my body drained of all strength. I had banished the demon, but its presence still lingered, a haunting reminder of the horrors I had endured. The experience left me scarred, forever haunted by the knowledge that evil could lurk in even the darkest corners of one's own being. And so, I bear the burden of my ordeal, a survivor of a terrifying possession that changed my life forever. I warn others to be wary of the darkness that lies within, for there are demons waiting to prey on the unsuspecting, and once they take hold, escape becomes a distant dream.